Many of us, despite seeming to have it all, still struggle to find happiness. We convince ourselves that true joy lies in owning a big house, accumulating great wealth, or finding that perfect life partner. But is that really the case? Why is it that even when all our wishes come true, we sometimes still feel a profound emptiness inside? Once upon a time, nestled in a small village near a dense forest, lived three brothers, Roshan, Sami, and Dami. They shared a simple cottage left to them by their parents. Their life was modest, but it was peaceful. The villagers respected them for their honesty, hard work, and kindness. Every day, the brothers would venture into the forest, cut wood, and sell it in the market to make a living. Yet, no matter how hard they worked, they felt a nagging void, an emptiness they just couldn't explain. One night, as they sat around the crackling fire, Roshan stared into the dancing flames and broke the silence. "Brothers," he began, "what is the true purpose of life? What will make us genuinely happy?" After a thoughtful pause, he added, "I think I'll finally be happy if I have a big, beautiful house." Sami, the middle brother, nodded slowly. "I see your point. For me, I want a huge farm with endless fields of crops. If we had that, we wouldn't have to work so hard anymore." The youngest, Dami, smiled softly, his eyes reflecting the firelight. "I just want a loving wife who will be waiting for me when I come home every day." Though their dreams were different, the feeling of emptiness they shared was the same. A little while later, one evening as they were returning from the forest, they spotted an old man sitting by the roadside. He looked exhausted, and a heavy basket sat beside him. Without a second thought, the brothers put down their bundles of wood and approached him. "Grandfather, can we help you carry this basket?" Roshan asked kindly. The old man looked up and smiled weakly. "Thank you, my sons. It's full of apples I collected from the forest. My house isn't far from here." The brothers took turns carrying the heavy basket. The road was long and the journey was tiring, but they didn't utter a single complaint. When they finally reached the old man's humble cottage, a strange sense of peace settled in their hearts. The old man, grateful, said, "I'll never forget your kindness. You three are hardworking and sincere. People like you always find new opportunities. Tell me, what do you desire most in life?" The brothers hesitated for a moment, then spoke their hearts honestly. Roshan shared his dream of a grand house. Sami described his vision of vast farmland, and Dami confessed his wish for a loving wife. The old man listened, then smiled warmly. "Your dreams aren't impossible. In fact, I know someone who can help you. A wealthy businessman in the neighboring town is looking for honest workers. If you work hard for him, you'll be rewarded and your dreams will come true." The very next morning, filled with renewed hope, the brothers traveled to the neighboring town. They started working for the businessman, pouring their hearts into their tasks. Roshan, being sharp and observant, quickly learned the ropes of the business. He helped manage operations and soon earned enough to build his dream house. Sami, with his deep knowledge of land and wood, impressed a local landlord. The landlord was so taken by Sami's skills that he rewarded him with a large, fertile plot of farmland. And Dami, with his gentle nature and sincerity, captured the heart of the businessman's daughter. Before long, they were married, and Dami had the loving family he had always wanted. At first, their lives felt like a fairy tale. Roshan moved into his grand mansion. Sami began cultivating his new land, and Dami was enjoying his new marriage. They were living the very dreams they had once wished for around the campfire. But as time went on, something began to change. A year passed. Roshan started feeling lonely in his enormous house. He spent most of his days alone, leaving the servants to handle everything. The once lively mansion became silent and empty, a beautiful but hollow shell. Sami found himself overwhelmed by the immense responsibility of managing a huge farm. The dream that had once excited him now filled him with constant anxiety. He lost sleep worrying about pests, storms, and every small threat that could ruin his crops. His dream had become a burden. Meanwhile, Dami noticed that his wife's beauty no longer brought him the same joy. Her constant complaints and their frequent arguments drained his peace of mind. The warmth that had once defined their relationship began to fade, replaced by a cold distance. Once again, the three brothers found themselves feeling empty and restless. They had achieved everything they had ever wanted, yet true happiness eluded them. The wealth, the land, and the love had all brought them joy, but it was fleeting. One cold winter morning, they decided they had to find the old man again. After a long search, they finally arrived at his small cottage. He was sitting by the fire just as they'd left him, warming his hands. Seeing him brought them a strange sense of comfort. "Grandfather," Roshan said softly, his voice heavy with disappointment. "Our wishes came true, but we're still not happy. What are we missing?" The old man looked at their troubled faces and smiled a knowing smile. "My sons," he said gently, "true happiness doesn't come from what you have. It comes from being grateful for what you already have. You achieved everything you wanted, but you forgot the most important ingredient: gratitude. Without gratitude, any happiness you find will simply fade away." The brothers fell silent, his words striking them like lightning. They knew he was right. The old man continued, "Gratitude is the key that unlocks lasting happiness. Learn to appreciate what is in front of you, and joy will follow naturally. Stop chasing more, and start cherishing what is already yours." That day, the brothers returned home with a completely new perspective. Roshan no longer saw his mansion as an empty space. He started filling it with friends, laughter, and love. Sammy stopped worrying about the future of his farm and started appreciating every harvest, no matter how small. And Dami learned to see his wife not through her flaws, but through the lens of her care and companionship. Slowly but surely, their lives began to change. The emptiness that had once consumed them disappeared. They had finally discovered that happiness isn't found in material things or perfect circumstances, but in the simple, powerful act of gratitude. It's in appreciating the present moment and finding peace right where you stand. So remember this story the next time you feel that something is missing. If you're always chasing more, happiness will keep running away from you. But if you start being thankful for what you have right now, you'll find that happiness will always stay with you. If this story inspired you, please show your support by liking and sharing it. And don't forget to subscribe for more stories like this. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.